BodyBags, where horror lies.
Welcome back to BodyBags. This is week number 525. This is a label week, and the label is Warner Brothers. And this week I picked something that's been sitting in my collection for quite some time, and that is The Pack. The Pack is a 1977 film, which runs approximately 95 minutes, and is written and directed by Robert Clouse. Now that should sound familiar. He, after all, did Ironheart, Gymkata, Force 5, and if those don't sound familiar, Enter the Dragon. Loved Robert Clouse. Now this stars Joe Don Baker as Jerry, Hope Alexander Willis as Millie, and Richard B. Shull as Hardiman. Now originally this movie had a PG rating, but Warner Brothers, surprisingly enough, wanted an R rating for this. Maybe it was to set it apart. I'm not really sure. I mean, you had Jaws in 1975, PG. I get it. Jaws 2, PG. You had Grizzly, you had Day of the Animal. Most of these had a PG rating. Grizzly, I believe, had a rated R. But all of these killer animal movies, which I am so fond of, had a lot of PG ratings in order to get people into the theaters. Now, The Pack, why did it sit in my collection? Well, I'm doing it now, kind of, because Scream Factory announced that they're releasing The Pack, and by the time you see this, it'll probably already be out. But it also sat for a different reason. I am a dog lover. I always have been since I was a little kid. And I always say that I identify more with animals than I do with people. It's just how I am, I guess. But knowing what this is about, a pack of wild dogs, and there's going to be the death of animals, it's not exactly one of my favorite things in horror. So that's kind of why this sat in my collection for so long. But I will say, to anyone out there who feels the same way I do, the dog killing in this was at a minimum, and it was handled, in my opinion, in the right way, because there was a message behind this. It wasn't force-fed. They didn't go to the extreme, but I liked the way they handled it. So, a little bit of what this is about. This will be right up my friend Rob, our Wednesday reviewer, VHS 82, apostrophe. This will be right up his alley because this is island horror, and he loves island horror, as do I. So we have a group of people who vacation on an island who, I guess, in order to keep their kids occupied, I'm kind of giving you the message, which maybe I shouldn't, but who cares? You'll see it anyway. So the parents buy their kids these dogs in order to keep them occupied for the summer when they come over to do their summer vacationing. And then they end up leaving the dogs there, and the dogs end up starving and going kind of mad. Not just from rabies, but because of the fact that they're hungry. And that's kind of the message that they're getting at here. Now, there are people who live on the island who also have dogs that actually take care of them. But I think what they were trying to instill is that, dogs are supposed to be part of the family. They're not just property. I know they're seen that way in the eyes of the law, but they're not just property. So I think that's kind of the big takeaway from this. I'm being a little vague on the plot, but like I said, if you have an aversion to seeing animals killed on screen and you've been putting off maybe this movie or some of the other ones, this one is one I can definitely tell you I really enjoyed. And I'm not usually one to enjoy this type of film. So, if that says anything, definitely check out the pack. And don't forget, it's probably out now, but Scream Factory is putting this out. I'm not sure what the extra features are, but it is a good film. Very good film. Classic horror. So check it out. Physical media matters. And until next time, peace.